G'day, this is Simon from the Bracketeer at Southwest here, Cars and Coffee. Take a look behind me. Every single week, I think we've got the best show we're ever going to have. And then another week comes along and we get this. Great turnout of cars, some really special stuff, including an Alfa Romeo 8C that I don't think I've seen in the flesh before. So let's swing the camera around, have a look. Great turnout this morning. Okay, my Camaro. Then big thank you to the guys from Lamborghini of Newport Beach and McLaren in Newport Beach. They're always bringing some awesome cars. Jeremy showed up in this beautiful Lamborghini. Look at this blue, so nice. Love the red interior as well. Just something about these cars. As a guy who's a bit of a hot rodder, there's something about Lamborghinis I really love. They just have this sort of, I don't know, just unique sort of, I don't know, rebellious part about them. I love it. Okay, Jay's Ford GT, Tony's beautiful 650 Le Mans, of course one of 5 I believe in the US. Telltale sign that this is a Le Mans, not a standard 650, is that hood scoop you can see up there. Next to it, Michael's 720S McLaren, then Gary's 2 of his cars, 650 Spider, and then his 458 Italia, also used to belong to Tony, and our 430. Then we got David's beautiful Ferrari, another Ferrari here. This is the car I mentioned in the intro. This is an Alfa Romeo 8C. They made so few of these things. They're actually a V8. Let's just swing the camera around this way. Really, really pretty car. I mean, just look at the lines of that thing. They were trying to replicate, I think, the Ferrari GTO. The lines on it are almost Maserati-ish, which I guess, given the family that it belongs to, is you know, to be expected. But look at the back end of this thing. It really looks like an old Ferrari GTO. So really cool, great to see. Next, Lance showed up. Lance, who owns Hillbank and also Super Performance. I believe it was a customer's trade-in car. They wanted to buy one of Lance's Super Performance Ford Cobras, and that's a BMW i8. Next to it, Lamborghini, another McLaren. Really nice looking Lamborghini in yellow. Ferrari. Another couple of the cars from Lamborghini Newport Beach. We've got this really nice Performante. I struggle to say that. I'm sorry to all the Italian people out there. It's just Australian coming out of me. But how cool is this thing? Great review on this thing on the Grand Tour. Did really, really well. And then next to it, another McLaren, of course. Gentleman sitting down here. Look at him just sitting there. Are you happy? Having a good day? Excellent. Good to see. Another Lambo there. Porsche, a pace car. Little Austin Healey bug-eyed Sprite, Bentley, another couple of Austin Healey there, another little Sprite here, pretty little Porsche here, couple of them actually, excuse me, another one here. Isn't this nice? Little another Austin Healey, and then a Jensen, I believe, yeah, Jensen Healey next to it, then a Mercedes Challenger, then a Viper. Right, swing around the other side. Porsche, little Triumph, Mercury, Bronco. Do not forget, on the 29th of this month, we've got our Bronco, Blazer and Scout Day. So make sure to come and check it out. If you know anyone or own a Bronco, Blazer or Scout, make sure to come along on the 29th. It's going to be a big day. Then next to it, we've got this couple of Volkswagen Beetles, the poor man's Porsche, or shall I say maybe the smart man's Porsche. Another one here. Look at this. How cool is this? Look at that. How clean is that thing? Amazingly good. Really, really great. So good to see. Little Alfa Romeo again. Julia. Another little Austin Healey. Got a lot of Austin Healeys this morning. Really nice to see. Great little cars. Next to it, a Saab. Let's have a look over this way. The car, of course, that's developed by a aeronautical company. Cobra replica, a C7 Corvette, another Ferrari. Trans Am, and while we look at this, we should probably take a moment of silence for Mr. Burt Reynolds, of course, made the Trans Am famous and passed away this week. What a legend. TR250, beautiful little MGA, another little MG. Fiat, beautiful little car. A couple of Corvettes through here. And then a really nice little Cobra here. Next to it, GT350 Ford. And then our regulars through here, the guys from in our Mustang Alley through here. Right along here, Boss 302, Roberts, Celine. Robert's new car should arrive next week. He's so excited, running one of the new Whipple Superchargers. I'm a big fan of Whipple, of course, have that on my Camaro. GT350 here, coming over this way. Really nice looking GTO. Pretty car. Then across the other side, interesting, same sort of era, that mid-60s Malibu over there. Cobra again. Really nice Hugger Orange 69 Camaro. Ranchero. Mustang, another Beetle. Pretty C28 Camaro 69 running that 302. This is interesting through here. Look at this. This is a 57 Chevy running a LSA engine. This is the engine that was, of course, used in the CTSV and also the Camaro ZL1 a couple of years ago. Yeah. Nice engine. Mustang from the guys at Hillbank. There's that new Whipple Supercharger. Robert's sitting in this particular car because he hasn't got his car yet. If he'd gone to Hillbank, he'd have had it months ago. Did I say that out loud? Mustang, Scat Pack, Corvette, Galaxy, and the Cobra replica, Supreme Cutlass, Corvair. Can't single-handedly change the safety standards here in the US. Austin Healey, another one. Lots of Austin Healeys this morning. Hellcat running that supercharged engine on a Charger. Camaro, GTO, very cool. So we come up through here. Another really cool car, this RX-7 that comes to here. Sounds so good. Next to it, R34. Great car, right-hand drive.
Yes, like my handheld GPS.
Please put this away. We can't do any transactions at the actual event. Thank you so much. Thank you. 914. This show, we just can't do promotional stuff here. It's just not what we agree to do with the outlets. We don't want it to turn into a swap meet either. We want it to be an organic show. Mercedes, Beetle, another Beetle. Another one, Challenger, Corvette, another Ranchero at the end, then swing around this side. Couple of three S2000s in a row. Couple of beautiful Mercedes there, convertibles. Check this out. What a spectacular example of a Eldorado Cadillac. This is so beautiful. Isn't that lovely? And it's such a pretty looking car. The gold grille in it. Looks awesome. So, Stingray. Oh, Chevy 2. El Camino. 65 Riviera. Beautiful looking 55 Chev. Check that thing out. Love the color-coded wheels and that just white two-tone scheme. Running that small block in there, all filled air cleaner. 69 El Camino. Another Chevy 2. Moving right along up here. Great turnout. It's a little bit cloudy today, a little bit of ocean layer, but you know what, keeps the temperatures down. GTI, great looking Chevy, dumped in the weeds. Z06, another Corvette, C7, C6, another one, 427 and that one, great. Malibu, GT3 RS. Beautiful orange, just really nice. Love that colour. Ford truck, one of our regulars. Little Beetle, really pretty looking Corvette that came in earlier, running that fuel injected engine. Chevy truck, small block. Couple of cool looking old Mercedes. Another Ranchero running that 250 inline 6. Then our regular crew we all see every week. Always a pleasure to have them. Chevy 2. Our regular. Good morning, gentlemen. Always good to see you. Mustang. Well, thank you. And yourselves? Excellent. Bonneville, that's kind of cool. Look at that. And little Lotus, 2 Lotuses in a row. 34 Cabriolet for sale if anybody's after a hot rod. 34, of course, that iconic shape. I'm guessing it's probably a fiberglass body. So over there we've got a Charger, Challenger. Next to it, little Mercedes. Oh no, sorry. Well, I'm right and wrong at the same time. It's actually the Crossfire, based on the same platform of Mercedes. In fact, if you look at some of the engine parts on it, it's actually Mercedes engine parts. This is nice. Look at this little Alfa Romeo. That pretty. Love that car. Look at the exhaust pipe shaking on the back of it. He's excited to be here. Look at that. Another beautiful 65 Riv. A little Shelby there. Firebird running that inline 6. John DeLorean developed. Nice looking Thunderbird. A E-Type Jag with that engine transplant. Corvette, new and old new. A couple of new ones there. Nice looking truck here, the Chevy truck. All that patina look on the side, and then a beautiful looking small block under the hood there, crate engine by the look. Another Chevy truck there. Look at that next to it. Isn't that cool? Pontiac. Corvette. Pretty high for a Corvette, lifted up with some big tyres on it. Another Corvette. Supra. A couple of Thunderbirds next to it. 3 Thunderbirds in a row. That's really nice to see. Really nice to see. Great to have them here. And then as we roll along, Nova running a 396 next to another one running a 427, both big blocks, but obviously the 427 was the newer engine, bigger power. Beautiful looking Chevy next to a 32 Ford, next to a Corvette, next to a 55 Chev. Very cool.
Which was a big price.
Cool looking truck, isn't that great? I think it's a GMC. And cool looking delivery. Chevy truck. This is cool. This is this little Opal that's been here a couple of times. It's got these cable operated headlights that literally rotate. They turn and hide back underneath, which is kind of cool. Little 124 Fiat based on a Miata, Honda S2000, Porsche. Coming across the other side here, we have an actually it's a Honda badged NSX. Of course, here was the only market I believe they were badged as an Acura. Australia and through Europe and Japan they're Honda. Hummer, then a Chevy Nova, then a Dodge Ram Mustang Mach-1, Camaro ZL1. That's got that LSA engine. We just looked at it in that 57 Chev. Old Targa, great looking 31 Chrysler. Isn't that cool? Beautiful looking car. It's been a car of the week in the past, so if you like the look of that car, make sure to go back to our website, check out our car of the week. Baja truck, great looking International here. Love this thing, so original, really cool. A crew cab back for its day, you know, was not a really common thing, so really cool to see that. Chevy Cheyenne next to a Jeep running not the original Jeep motor. Looks like a small block Chevy in there to me.
That's what it is.
Yeah, very cool. 327, 350? 350, cool. Jeffrey's Jeep, monster of a thing. Cool looking F1 Raptor, should I say. Little Tiger, Sunbeam Tiger, of course running that Ford V8 and those things. Bronco, as I said, don't forget the 29th, Bronco Blazer and Scout Day. Mercury Montclair, great looking Mustang, bit of Mopar muscle here, check that thing out, one of our regulars. Mini, I think this is Jasmine's new Mini, I could be wrong. This is James's girlfriend, I think that's her new car. Another Mini, we had a few of the Mini guys here today. Aaron organised that, great thing. Mitsubishi Corvette, another Corvette. This one for sale, I think. Then we move on to a row of a few Evos, that little Mitsubishi that's a very capable little car. 3 of those, some Corvettes through here, 427 in that one. Another one, great looking little Alfa Romeo there, what a pretty car.
Still at it, man.
Still, never stop, there is no end. Mustang, beautiful looking 69 Camaro and Hugger Orange, running a big block. Very clean looking car for sale if anybody's interested. Really nice. That would look so good in my garage next to my orange Camaro, wouldn't it? If it is I don't believe it's a genuine Yenko, but boy is it nice. It's a tribute, there we go, running a 454. Then we've got a Grand Wagoneer, then a Gen 6 Camaro, a little Civic, truck, Ford F100 or 100 there, Beetle, Lexus, Mercedes, a Mustang, very tough Chevy that comes along. This thing sounds like an animal. Bruce's 38 or 9, I will never remember, Chevy truck. A couple of C6 Corvettes. Mercedes, Lincoln Continental running those cool suicide doors. 2 of them side by side. Very cool. Datsun 240Z T-Bucket running a big block. Very cool. Beautiful little Alfa Romeo again. Such a pretty little car. Another 240Z. Or Z's, I would say. Porsche. Corvette, Porsche, McLaren 570S, pretty car. Audi R8, couple of Raptors side by side, cool looking trucks. And then Porsche, Mercedes, Corvette. And then Chevy Blazer for sale, don't forget. As I keep saying, the 29th. Got to grab this before it leaves, check this out. 56 F100. You know how to tell the difference? 55 had a wraparound, 56 has a wraparound windshield, 55 has a straight windshield. A little MG Midget, another S2000, a Chevelle GT350 running that beautiful flat plane crank engine. Mustang, cool looking old Land Rover 110, aka Defender. A later model grill in that thing, I think. BMW, Corvette, another nice McLaren looking up there, sitting up there, 570S. Swing the camera around. 2 more rows to go. 3 actually. So Corvette, pretty little old Porsche, Ranger. These boys with some serious trucks here, lost these front fenders. Ford, Chevy, another Chevy. Miata. Look at this little thing. How cool is this?
RX-7.
Isn't that great? Really nicely done. Chevy. New Jaguar I-Pace. Very cool. Look at that I-Pace. That's the new Jaguar electric car. Mercedes. Another Mercedes through here. And then down to a Jeep. And then a Dodge Ram next to it. So, Ram 1500, bit of a lift kit on that thing. Couple of Mustangs side by side, down to another one, another GT350. Lots of those around today. It looks like it's sitting next to another one as well. Yeah, it is too. That's cool. The one next to it, I think, is the GT350R. Yes, it is. Way to tell. It's got that bigger rear spoiler on the back. So, very cool. Very cool. And a bigger front splitter as well. M5, a Challenger, Porsche, little and you know what we're going to do, because this really doesn't belong in here. Somebody's just tried to bring this in here to sell it. So what we're going to do is this is what we do. I don't mind people selling cars if they're appropriate for our show, but if they're just trying to turn us into a used car yard, then they need to get one of these in here, which is the sign that says no parking here. So doesn't belong. We welcome all cars, but we don't like people trying to turn us into a flea market. So GT350 Shelby, a Mustang, BMW Infiniti M3, nice little BMW convertible there, nice little Corvette, little Sprinter, Porsche, BMW, and then just moving around. It's just so great to see so many kids here. You know, that's how we're going to keep this industry alive. Corvette, and then another one down here, shoving across the other side. We've got a little Chrysler PT Cruiser, I think it is, Corvette, MX-5, not bad, just a Miata, and then Mustang, BMW, Lexus, Scion, Chevy, M4, BMW again, looks like a ZL1, Camaro, a C5 LT I think it is, Mustang, I think that's a little Nissan there, in fact I know it is, Focus, ST Focus, little Mazda Speed 3 running that 2.3 litre turbocharged engine, little Honda Civic Type R, fastest front wheel drive car currently around Nürburgring, another little Honda M4, another GTI, and then little Audi, and then a BMW M3. I like that body shape, it's a great looking car. More of the trucks back to back here, which is great. So TRD Bronco, and then another Bronco, making a bit of transfer by the look. Another one, Chevy, Jeep, little Ranger down here. Across the other side, we've got an Infiniti with some carbon fibre on it, R35, GTI, Porsche, another Porsche, then the guys from Tin Pros in their McLaren and their Gen 5 1LE Camaro and their Corvette, and then the Cadillac and their Jeep. last row through here till we get to the front. M3, McLaren 720S. This guy's very unassuming, doesn't want to park at the front, always says he wants to be at the back. Very cool. BMW, another BMW, each their own though, you know. Some guys like to be at the front and be in the sort of the main line. Other guys want to park sort of at the back and just enjoy the show. We don't enforce anything here, which is kind of cool. TRD, WRX, another WRX, and then a Forester, another WRX, and another one, little 350Z, Audi Gasser. The world of drag racing back in the 60s, this was the way to go. You'd basically put a solid front axle in these things, big engine, take all the weight out of it, and of course the reason they lifted them up like that was so that when they took off, you'd actually transfer all the weight to the back of the car. These days we know it actually creates more air drag, so we don't do it, but that's the way they used to drag race back in the 60s. As I said, the category is called a Gasser. A couple of Jeeps through here, 3 of them in fact. It's a cool old one, look at that. Mesh grille on it. Then a Carrera, another Porsche here, GT3, maybe an RS, but I'm not sure. I don't think it is. And then finally this beautiful 66 Impala. Isn't that lovely? 327, which is of course the engine they use in these days. Cool thing about a 327, they actually revved higher than the 350 did when they came out, and I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe they also had a steel crank, which is kind of cool. You couldn't get them in a 4-bolt main like you could a 350, however. Way to tell this is a 66. If it was a 65, it would have 3 lights across the back here. The 66, they embedded them in the back like that. I love it. That's my favorite Impala look, the 66. It polarized Chevy people. They were expecting to see the 3 taillights across the back, and so consequently they changed it the following year. Okay, let's move along to the other side. Okay, a couple of cars along the front here. This beautiful 61 Buick that's a regular, a Mercedes and then a Cadillac there, but I just want to show you this. Very cool looking R8, obviously on air ride, which is great. Look how low that is. Just swing around here. We had that other Defender before. Now this is an early Defender. This is before they were called Defender. See how the headlights are in close together, not out on the outer side? That means that it's one of the very, very early Land Rovers. And the reason they put them in close like that was they believed that it actually would prevent them from getting broken. So very cool. Look at that, look at the crowd through here. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely amazing. So many people here today. So many people. So let's walk down through here and we'll check out the motorcycles as well. Now there's something else happening on the 29th I can't tell you too much about. Aside from the fact that we've got the event with the Scouts and the Broncos and the Blazers, there will be something else happening that same weekend, which is really special. Can't talk to you about it, signed to secrecy. Wow, I'm so glad I came over to the motorcycles. This is insane. I think I found not a car of the week this week, but a motorcycle of the week. This is breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. I could just stand and look at this thing all day. You know, motorcycles of this era have a real simplistic beauty about them, and one of the things about BMW is they did not change them for the longest time. In fact, if you look at modern BMWs, they still use this Boxster style engine. It's just a 2-cylinder engine, but you know, I don't want to talk about it too much. We're going to come back to that. That's our car of the week, motorcycle of the week. Won't be able to carry his prize home. Scott's electric assist bicycle. Glad that he could park it in here. Didn't want to bring his GT3 today, so he brought his. Scott, what can you tell us about your bicycle? What?
Well, I didn't have to spend any money on gas. So
he didn't have to spend any money on. Well, I would suggest you did have to spend money on gas, because when you eat food, there's plenty of that around. So, and you are a banker, which means there's a lot of hot air. So maybe. Scott's one of my closest friends, lovely guy, part of our group, so always good to have him along. He comes here even without his car, which is true dedication. Ducati 999S, Scrambler Ducati. This is really cool, check this out. Lewis Hamilton decals on it. This is an Augusta, I believe. This is really, really cool. Pretty motorcycle, serious. Suzuki, Yamaha, and then a Husqvarna, and a big old Honda. Isn't that cool? Another Honda Scrambler there. That's very cool. BMW, R1, BMW, another BMW, Ducati, very nice. classic old Honda there, Suzuki. Then we're up with a Harley. One Harley here, then another Honda, another Harley. Look at this old chopper, very cool. Kawasaki, another Harley Davidson, and finally, last Harley up here. So that's it for another week at South OC Cars and Coffee. Thanks very much to everybody who brought out your amazing cars and motorcycles, and of course, all the spectators who've joined us. This show has just turned into something far bigger than I ever could have dreamed. Big thank you, of course, to Robert and Jay for the great photography. James, of course, for all of his help that he does as well. And of course, thank you to Ruby's for bringing out the coffee and the donuts, and Outlets of San Clemente for allowing us to be here. Make sure you support those stores at the Outlets of San Clemente. A couple of special weeks coming up. In a couple of weeks, we've got a brand new Range Rover, one of one in the US. It's this two-door Range Rover. Stand by for more information on that. And also on the 29th, as I keep mentioning that, Blazer, Bronco and Scout Day, something else special happening around that day. So please make sure to come along that day for something really special. Have a great week. We'll see you back here next week for another South OC Cars and Coffee.